All right, everyone, we're going to get started in just about 2 minutes. So if you have not disposed of your waste yet, please do so in the proper bins. Thank you. All right, everyone, we're going to get started. Thank you for being here today. My name is Shannon Honor-Shaw, and I'm the Director of FAS Administration. I am going to be your new MC going forward for division meetings, so Brittany has passed this along to me. I'm happy to be here with you all today, and we have a jam-packed agenda, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First, we're going to have our land acknowledgement, and then we're going to jump into some new employee introductions. VP Wyden's going to have some remarks. We have a couple presentations for you, a lot of awards, and then we'll do door prizes at the end. So first, we're going to do our land acknowledgement.
Today, the meeting place of CSUSM and its surrounding areas is still home to the 6 federally recognized bands of the La Jolla, Hala, Almu, Changa, Rincon, Saboba, Luiseño, Payacuichan people. It is also important to acknowledge that this land remains a shared space among the Capeño, Kumeyaay, and Itai peoples. CSUSM has long-standing mutual beneficial relationships with the local tribal communities in San Diego,
which has 18 federally recognized reservations, home to more than any county in the United States.
I hope that you can take this opportunity to learn more about the local indigenous people from the region during your time here. Welcome to CSUSM.
All right, thank you very much. We're gonna jump to new employee introductions. So I'm gonna pass the mic over to Brittany, and she's gonna walk around. If you are a new employee or the manager of a new employee, please stand up so that you can introduce your new employee.
Good morning, everyone. I want to introduce Jeroen Berenzi over here. He is the Campus Information Security Officer, started at the beginning of this year. So he is the person you're pretty much going to harass when you get an email or an ITR that's not completed or anything like that. One fun fact about Jeroen is he does have dual citizenship. So he is Dutch and from here. So there you go.
Thank you. I want to introduce Mitchell Maynard. He is come to us from the K through 12 arena. He did serve in the military, in the Air Force. And an interesting fact is that he was a DJ in Arizona. And he is the new Assistant Director of Facility Services.
Welcome. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to introduce Michelle Lorenzana. She's a rehire to our Financial Systems Operations Department. Michelle was with the campus for over 23 years and brings a lot of experience, and we're thrilled to have her. She's watching from the Zoom channel today, being dedicated. She's working a bit here and there. And she is, fun fact is that she participates in 5Ks across San Diego County, and she is also a pickleball player. She belongs to a league.
I have the pleasure of introducing two new cashiers in Student Financial Services, Sylvia Aguilar and Vilma Ramos. Fun fact about Sylvia is her husband is a canary breeder and does competitions, and Sylvia helps with that, and they've won competitions with the canary breeding. And fun fact about Vilma, she is an art fan and an architecture major. Welcome.
We have two new employees in Parking and Commuter Services. I have the pleasure to introduce Yamila Ortega. She's a current student majoring in criminal justice and sociology. She loves to travel and enjoys learning about beautiful and new cultures. And also Crystal Davis, assistant to the director. She comes from the nonprofit sector. She's thrilled to be joining the campus community. And she brings a passion for making a positive impact and nurturing community connections. I'm sure you'll be seeing her and hearing from her soon. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I have the pleasure to introduce Micah Arce. Micah is our payroll coordinator who joined us in December. And she has over 6 years of payroll and human resources experience. And she loves to travel and binge watch from time to time, as I do and probably a lot of people do. So welcome, Micah.
Hi, good morning. I'm very excited to introduce Ashley North. She may look familiar to a lot of you. She is not new to campus, but she is new to PDC. She joins us from SH&S. A few fun facts. She has a dog du Bordeaux, which also most of you may know as a French Mastiff, the dog that many of you have seen on Turner and Hooch, so fun fact. She also enjoys crafting and a good happy hour.
Good morning, everybody. To my right is Beth Hopkins. She joined us as our technology moves specialist. She got her MIS degree here last year. Let's see, a couple things. Really important one. Her 8-year-old son got her into martial arts. She has an orange belt in karate, so if she's out in your area helping you with moves, don't give her any guff. She's been in Fallbrook for the last 8 years, I think 7 or 8 years. So that's given her real connectedness to nature, which I can totally appreciate. And the one that kind of blew my mind was that in her last term, I can't independently verify this, but she says she shared with her fellow students and mentors that if she got a job here, she would be happy to spend the rest of her working life at CSUSM. So, I mean, dream come true in the making. Let's all check back in like 30 years.
Hello. I get the privilege of introducing Kara Schaefer. Kara Schaefer is a student assistant new to the corporation. She helps with the facilities aspect of the corporation duties. Kara is a global business major, and a special fact about her is she has a cat named Kitty Kitty Cupcake.
No. It's Cutie Cutie Cupcake.
Good morning. I have the privilege of introducing Deanne Ellison. Deanne is our new Executive Director of the CSUSM Corporation and AVP of Business Development. Deanne joined the CSUSM team on March 1st. She came from SUNY Binghamton University. Deanne brings a wealth of knowledge about auxiliary organizations and housing and a great many things. So she's very, very talented, and we're glad to have her. So she served at several CSUs over her career as well, bringing institutional knowledge from CSU, but a new perspective to CSUSM. Fun fact, whenever Deanne travels, she tours the closest university to her, and she has visited more than 100 campuses. So I'm very excited to have Deanne join our team. She'll be critical as we move forward. So please help me in welcoming Deanne. Thank you.
And I just want to quickly acknowledge those folks that are on the second and third shift that we have right up here. They are also new employees. They don't work during this time of day. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to VP Wyden for some remarks.
Okay, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Come on, everybody, wake up. Let's go. FAS division, I'm really happy that we get the opportunity to do these types of meetings. I think that most of our other divisions don't have these types of get-togethers, and I think it's critical that we as an organization sit down and have the opportunity just to meet each other, introduce our new people, and have conversations about our combined interest in CSUSM. So for that, I am totally, thoroughly, utterly grateful to you all, for attending these types of events and participating and having a good time, and I'm always happy to feed you guys. So with that, Shannon, I'm gonna go back to the script. So, I hope, everybody I know is in high spirits today. So today we're uniting a remarkably skilled and diverse team of individuals from across our division to connect, gain insights from one another, and collaborate toward our mutual objectives. I'm privileged to be among the distinguished team, and I'm thrilled about the remarkable achievements that we'll realize together. While we are gathered here today, I want to emphasize that your efforts toward the university are genuinely appreciated and recognized. Your relentless commitment and enthusiasm for your work are truly exceptional and make me excited to come to work every day. I want to share with you a few updates from each of our subdivisions, which by no means is all-encompassing, but simply a small fraction, and I'll jump right into it. FDM continues to work on a solar project that will cover lots B and C. So lots B and C by the summer of 26 will be covered solar parking with better lighting, more charging stations for electric vehicles, and that's one of their really big projects that they're working on, along with launching the UVHD project, which you guys have probably noticed is underway. We broke ground on that on the 19th, and we're also in design on the IS&E building, led, very capably by Mark Narita, but our main design person is Rayanne Weber, who's sitting right over there, and she's been responsible for making sure all these projects stay on time and on budget. So with that, we're grateful to FDM. The Office of Human Resources also has a lot of good things going on. The main thing that they've been working on is our Leadership Academy, and some of you have participated in that. It's professional development for our MPPs that are on campus and our management community. But also, our staff center has been working on career pathways for administrative professional pilot program. We've just done one cohort of this, and it seems to be going very well. So we'll give opportunities to those to move up in the ranks who are interested in doing so. So we're grateful to Erica Gravette and her team for putting this together. UPD, the police department, we're now calling them the campus safety department, but Chief has obtained, and his team, led by, I believe, Sarah Jayusi, who is doing our critical response team, they've gotten a grant from, I'm not sure exactly the source, but they have a grant for 1 year for an MSW, Master of Social Work intern, to work with us in the CSUSM Pride Center, and one graduate assistant who will be placed in the CSUSM housing. So both will provide prevention and intervention services under the direction of the crisis response team. In addition, UPD received a grant to fund the crisis response team specialist for 2 years. So it's really encouraging to see external support, for our organization and to see, just the campus safety area working toward bringing these types of awards to the institution to support us, to help us hire additional personnel to support our students, faculty, and staff. Business and financial services. We've been engaged with Axiom for a while. Axiom is our budget tool that we've been working on to provide some type of visual insights and to help with some type of financial dashboard. We just talked about this just the other day, and one of the things that we're trying to accomplish is to give people more visibility to what their financial records look like and what their spending is in some type of visual dashboard type format. And that's just, it's taken a little while. We've kind of been working on this, it's kind of like since I've been here. But we are making progress, and eventually that will be available for all to see. BFS has also rolled out a forecasting module to campus, and we'll be working to incorporate that into other units as funds become available over the next year. Student Financial Services has automated their franchise tax board process, which changed their manual update process to be fully automated with daily updates. My friends in IITS have been working with departments around generative AI, and I believe that we're going to talk about that in just a little while. Tassos is going to talk to you about that. And that's one of the things that they've been working on. IITS has also been expanding the use of Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics, across campus departments to centralize communications and have a better sense of how we communicate with our campus population. They've also put up a Verizon tower to help enhance our cellular service. I don't know about you guys, but Verizon has sucked for my phone. It's really entertaining when you're talking to the president on the phone and the call drops. But she does have a good sense of humor about it. But one of the other things I'd like to also mention about the Microsoft Dynamics project. That's something that Tony Chung and his team have really been committed to, and we're getting a lot of exposure with Microsoft through this process. We are one of their few development sites for a CRM type product. So they are working with us, they're helping us fund this initiative, and I couldn't be more grateful to Tony and the IITS team who are sponsoring this and working with campus to make this happen. Let's see, what else do we have here? FAS, administration. Procurement has been busy executing the Affordable Housing Phase 2 construction agreement and have completed the request for proposal and chosen a contractor for integrated sciences and engineering building design. The Vice President's office will begin migrating all of our students into CSU Learn, our learning management system, over the summer of '24, and sustainability is proud of being a part of the award-winning Teaching Climate Change and Resilience faculty learning community, where 13 CSUSM faculty members have learned about solutions, resources, tools to integrate these topics into their curriculum. And I think lastly, I have the Corp. The Corp has been working on a student culinary council, something to encourage our students to participate in our meal plans, our food selections, and those types of things, to give them a voice, as well as talking with some of our faculty and getting a broader participation in the types of food offerings that we provide. So that's a great thing. Deanne has been working on that very, very diligently, and it's starting to come to fruition, so thank you, Deanne. This not only includes the food items offered, but also the promotion of food safety and sustainable food practices. So working with our students, faculty, and staff, that has been just a wonderful thing that we've been working on. So with all these accomplishments, and many that I haven't even talked about, although I've kind of gone off script a little bit, I remain thoroughly impressed and eagerly anticipate the remarkable achievements that our collective efforts will achieve. With that, I'm pleased to introduce our first speaker, Jennifer Ralph, our campus emergency manager. Jen? All yours.
Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to put this here for a minute. We'll talk about that at the end of the presentation. Okay, and we have a clicker here somewhere? All right, perfect. Okay. So apologies for the new employees who have gone through new employee orientation with Susie and I, because some of this will be a repeat. But what I really wanted to talk to you about is, well, if I'm not the emergency manager and I'm just an employee in FAS, like, what do I do? You know, if an emergency happens, exactly what's my responsibility? So the goal of emergency management is basically to create capability within the campus for us to not only respond to critical emergencies and incidents, but to recover and get us back into our mission of educating our students, getting them to graduation. So the way that we do this is we have this kind of cycle. And essentially what we do is we sit down and say, well, like, what could go wrong on an emergency preparedness level? So my department comes into play when it's beyond our normal capabilities. If something goes wrong and we have the capability in our normal business processes to take care of it, that's great. You do you. When it becomes beyond that, when it's something like, this isn't normal, we don't have the resources to do this, we don't have the, you know, whatever information we need to bring in outside people, that's kind of where I kick in. So we look at it and say, well, what are the hazards and threats that can happen on campus? And then we say, well, if those are going to happen, what can we do to lessen their impact? And then that is what informs us to make our plans. How can we be prepared? And then when it comes to the actual incident, although I have my boots on, I'm not the person that's out there on the field doing the thing. I'm the person that organizes with other people in the Emergency Operations Center to support the people that are out in the field, to make sure you get those resources that you need, whether they're equipment, people, vehicles, whatever, supplies, so that the people that are doing the response are safe and can get their job done. And once it's stabilized, then we start working the business continuity part of things, where that's how do we recover and get our critical functions moving so that we can, as quickly and safely as possible, get back up to our normal processes. So today, I just want to tell you, this is what you can do. Super simple, right? Easy. Follow our emergency notifications, right? That's easy. Know your evacuation zone. Evacuate quickly and safely when we need to. And maybe think about volunteering to support emergency management on campus. Okay. So this is our emergency notification system. We have two different, I guess, software programs that we use. So the one side is Alertus, which is the campus-based. And so with Alertus, I can take over, and actually mostly dispatch can take over our electronic door locks, our digital signage on campus. For the classrooms, we have the desktop alert that comes up. We have some speakers currently in Cougar Central and the library. So all of those and we have the outdoor speakers as well. So we have all of those sort of outdoor, and indoor campus-based. Rave is our other vendor, and that is where we do the personal notifications. So the phone call, the text, and the email. Okay. In the upper left, you can see that big red button. That is literally a picture of the big red button in dispatch. And I did my best to kind of, merge the wall paint with the, background there. But that is me going and taking a photo of it. So this is if we have credible information that we have an active threat, active shooter on campus. They literally flip the plastic, hit the button, and all of those messaging goes out automatically. They don't have to sit and do anything or customize. Phone calls, emails, texts, all of our campus-based, that all happens. Every electronic door lock on campus, boom, locked. Okay. We also have in certain high-risk departments, we have a variety of different types of panic buttons too. So if something's coming in that is a nature where we have someone that's, a little aggressive, they're providing, a safety risk, they can hit that button. So like Student Health and Counseling Services has them, President's Office, Provost, etc. So when it comes to active shooter, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this particular hazard or threat because we can come to your department and talk to you about the general activities, and we can also walk you through your own workspace, right? Your department's workspace, and talk about, what are possible scenarios and what you can do to be safe. So I just want to say that it's all about situational awareness. Where are you in relation to the shooter? And what kind of room or environment are you in? Because those are the two factors that are going to determine whether you run, hide, or fight. Okay, so run, if you can get out of the room, if you're on campus outside and you can get off campus, that's what you're going to do. Get away from the situation. Okay, if that's not the option, or you're in a building on the other side of campus, then you're just going to secure. You're going to hide in your suite, your office, whatever, and you're going to turn out all the lights and be super quiet and be like, there's nobody here, right? So it's not worth it for them to investigate. Finally, if you are in a location where you cannot get away, they're between you and the exit, they're right there in your office, right? Then you're going to defend your life. And I always thought, well, how successful is that? And it can be very, very successful, because these guys aren't necessarily combat trained. They're not used to a target pushing back, all right? So you can disrupt them more than you think you might be able to. If you are hunkered down somewhere on campus, we'll be sending you texts to let you know what's going on. And we'll probably also have that in social media as well. Like any emergency, please pay attention to the official social media, because anyone can write anything on their own personal stuff, right? So we will try and keep you updated regardless of the incident. And then finally, the officers have one mission, and that is to take care of the threat. So to get to that threat as soon as possible and to save as many people as possible, they are not going to be their normal super friendly selves, right? They have to get there, and every single person they encounter, they have to do a split-second threat identification or assessment and say, threat, not a threat. So as civilians, we do this, right? I would not have the microphone in my hand. That would not be good. Either of these, right? So we put our whatever we're carrying down, hands up. We don't rush toward them. We don't scream at them. Make it super easy for them to make that decision that I am not a threat, okay? And because it's a timeliness, they have to get that done as soon as possible. They're not going to stop and do first aid, okay? As other officers come in from other jurisdictions, they will work on first aid and getting people transported to the fire department. But our initial team, until that threat's taken care of, they cannot stop to do anything. Okay. The CSU training is on the police website, on my emergency management website. The FBI has a really good training. There's a bunch of different sources that you can look at. If you're not sure, just Teams me on that. Okay, evacuation zones. We have 15 different evacuation zones on campus. This is not the one where you walk 4 steps out of the building and watch it burn down or fall on you. So we have to try and, give some space away from the buildings. There is a link to all of them, the PDF with all of them on the emergency management webpage. So here is zone number 2. Covers admin building, part of Science 1, part of the library. You're going out to the lawn, okay? So that's the kind of zones. It tells you what it is, and if you can see, it has a number and a color and a symbol. So your building marshals will have a flag that looks like that. So it's a good visual for you to determine, yeah, I'm gonna follow this person, all right, to get to my zone. Here's the other main one, and that goes to the lawn and the core of campus. and we do any overflow down into the ethnobotany garden. Okay, so lots of people there. So please smush in, right? Overflow down the botany garden. So there's 13 other ones that you can look at. When it comes time to have a building evacuation, take the stuff you need. In the past, they said, you know, it was like on a plane, like just go, right? But if we can't get back into that building for 3 days and you don't have your car keys in your wallet or your purse, that's not good. So take your wallet, take your car keys, take whatever you immediately need. Don't be all like packing for a weekend away. Grab it and go. So if you can't come back, you have what you need, okay, to survive. We always move intently and quickly, but we don't panic and we don't run. We don't use elevators in any emergency, because what if the power goes out? Or what if there's a big earthquake and it jams? That's no good. Go to the evacuation zone, and if you're not sure, find somebody with a flag and follow them. Okay, so you can go to the nearest one, that's fine too. Never come back into a building, and this is for drills as well, until we've gotten the all clear, please. Because whether it's a fire or an earthquake or something else, we have to be able to go in and evaluate to make sure the building's safe for you, okay? And we will send out emergency notifications as soon as I'm aware, to let you know it's safe to go back in, or if we're going to have to evacuate further. If someone has access or functional needs situation, then what I recommend is that you work with your manager to come up with a plan for your individual workplace, so that we can make sure that we put you in the safest location if you don't have a ground level exit. And so we can work with the fire department to have a plan, okay, to keep you safe. The good news is our buildings are sprinklered, and they have amazing fire protection built in. So we can shelter in place in a bunch of different locations and be safe until the 8 minutes later when the fire department gets there. So that might be the safest places for you to shelter in your workspace, okay, depending on the building, depending on the situation. For all of the rest of us, just make sure that if someone has some of these issues, that we just make sure that they're aware that we're evacuating or what we're doing. And they always get to have the lead, and we always achieve and ask for and receive consent to help. Okay. And between the fire or the building marshals, they have a red flag to let first responders know that there's a situation, a special situation, and we can also then, you know, individually notify. You can notify your building marshal. You can notify any of the first responders you see. Campus evacuation. So we do not live in a vacuum. If we have to do a campus evacuation, it probably means that the region is dealing with an evacuation. And that means that it's not necessarily going to be our choice when we evacuate. Now, the good news is the president is pretty proactive. She's like, yeah, we're just out of here before they make us. I'm like, that works for me. Gives us more time. We got stuff to do. But if stuff's fast moving like a wildland fire, we may not be the first ones to go. It may be the houses, or it may be other businesses, because we have a vegetation management plan, right, that lowers our risk. We have a lot of concrete, and we have these amazing buildings that have really good fire protection. So we may be phase 3. I can't tell you that. It's basically up to the fire department and the sheriff's department, because they're unified command. Our police department will be there and working with them, but we are subject to the whole region and what's going to work effectively for the whole region. When it is time for us to evacuate, it's going to be in phases, right? We can't evacuate, imagine like on a Thursday when everyone's here at class and everyone's here. Okay, disaster if we all try to go. Who was here for the fire in 2014, Coco's fire? Okay. A little chaotic, little this, little that. So it's not going to be fast. Think huge, giant, you know, stadium concert finishing. So we will go in phases, and we will give you specific directions. So please look at your texts. Please go when it's your turn and not before. And please don't argue with people who tell you to make a right turn when you want to make a left. Okay, it's probably going to look like commencement on steroids, but we clear this campus and commencement in, what, 30 minutes, 35 minutes? So we can do it if everyone cooperates. Okay. So here's the Cocos Fire. That's Craven and Campus View. This is Campus View coming towards the police department. So you can see that's a lot of cars. And if everyone waits their turn, we can keep that traffic flow moving because we can block intersections, just keep it going. So please, please, please follow the directions, because the last thing any of us want is I get and send you a phone call that says, abandon your cars and run for it. No. All right? So we will be proactive as best we can, given the circumstances in the region, and we will be orderly. Okay. So if there's a fire in your building, we have the very good acronym of RACE. So we have a lot of good insurance. We can replace stuff. We cannot replace people. So we always take care of our people first, get everyone out of the room. We pull one of the fire alarms that is all around campus. We have them in every hallway. We have them all over the place, okay? We contain the fire. Remember I said we have really good fire protection. So if you close that door to that room, that contains it, right? And that gives the fire department enough time to get there before it spreads all over the building, gives us enough time to evacuate safely, okay? And then we evacuate. We go to the exit, we go to our evacuation zones, okay? So we don't have to run. We don't want to run. We don't want panic. We keep aisleways inside and outside open, right? So people can get out and fire department can get in. And we don't have to be heroes. You are not firefighters. I'm not a firefighter. So unless the fire extinguisher is right there and it's a tiny fire, don't even bother to try and fight it, because you're not going to have enough extinguisher. And if you have to walk and come back, it's already going to be too big probably. If you want to grab a fire extinguisher on the way out while you're evacuating, just as protection on the way out, great. But unless you've been specifically trained by Safety, Health, and Sustainability, you are in no way obligated to fight a fire. And if you have been trained, again, you know the situations when it is and is not safe to do so. Okay, so again, really good insurance on this campus, so it can burn, you cannot. That's the way we look at it. All right, the other big one that's been in the news recently, we've had a lot of 4.0s along the faults in the desert recently, really close. SDS's campus in Imperial County had some stuff on one of those, and they had the big one back east recently, so let's talk about this. Who did drop and cover drills in elementary school? Okay, if you're like from California, you probably did. Now, back in the age of the dinosaurs, when I was in elementary school, we did drop and cover. Okay, great, protect your head, that's awesome. And then people said, you know what? The earthquakes are vibrations. And you know what happens to furniture in vibrations? It vibrates around. So if you're not holding on to the thing that's over you, it could vibrate right away. And you're like, oh, whoops, there goes my cover. So now it is drop, cover, and hold on. So stay away from windows, hanging things, right? So we have really good building codes here in California, but if it's big enough, stuff can happen. So that's why we're gonna drop and cover. We don't necessarily wanna be by the big window. Things can flex. So even if you don't have something to go under, you can go towards an interior wall. Okay? Don't be running around while the shaking's going on. Because if you fall, okay, so I'm 5'7", if I fall from here because I trip because I'm running around and it's a really close earthquake, so it's this instead of this, and I get shaken and I fall, that's a big fall distance. So I can have severe neurological damage. So hunker down in an open space, find where you're supposed to hide underneath, protect yourself, and then when the shaking stopped, if things have been falling, major, significant visual damage that you've seen, go ahead and evacuate. You don't have to wait for me. If you've seen things break in and damage going on, evacuate so we can evaluate the safety of the building, okay? But don't do it when it's actually shaking. Again, don't use the elevator. If you're outdoors, try and find an open space, right, where nothing's gonna fall on you. Get down, protect your head and neck, okay? If you're in the grocery store, try and find an open place where the shelves won't fall on you, okay? And then remain there until the shaking stops. If we are evacuating, again, we'll let you know when it's all clear. Could be a bit if we have to do building assessments. Okay, so who has not done a drop and cover drill ever in their life? Okay, we had like 10% who said they actually did them. Who has not done drop and cover before? Leon's, and okay. We have 2 honest people here. Okay, so Leon, this is your lucky day. Now, here's the rules. Number 1, no workers' comp injuries. All right, so if you are not in a position, you're old like me and you're like, maybe not. Okay, I will because, okay. But if you have some situation where it's gonna cause damage, we're gonna have a workers' comp claim because you're dropping and covering, then don't do it, okay? Do not pull all of the tablecloths down and have food all over because Al will kill me. So I'd rather not have that happen, okay? Now here's your motivation. This is an elementary school song to encourage you, and it will go until we're all dropping and covering. Now here's your motivation. If that's not enough, the table that successfully drops and covers all of you will get a roadside essentials kit. So there's some positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive. The VP's administrative office are gonna be our judges. So if you all could spread out, all right. And my officers in the back, if you could also be my judges to see who goes down completely. Hey, don't be cheating. Put those tablecloths down. I see you, Ian. Okay, no cheating. Professional ethics here, folks. Get back in your chairs, put the tablecloth down. All right. Let's see if we can get this to work. Okay. All right, are we ready? And remember, the torturous music will go until basically everyone's done. Okay. Can we hear it? Okay, let's go. Drop, cover, hold on. If you can't drop and cover, you're protecting your head and neck. I got one here.
Wait till the shaking stops.
Okay.
Drop, be like a turn.
Come on, Masan.
Under the table, away from the window. Stay still under the table.
Yeah, and this one was pretty fast, and then I think Tony saw this group over here. Okay, are we good? I think we're good. Okay. Far back right. Okay, officers in the back, we're hearing the far back right over here. Does that sound right to you? Okay. All right, Ellie says, so that's the so is that what?
The one behind Junior. The one behind Junior. Yeah. So Carmen, with Carmen.
You can come back out now. You can come back out now. We had some tables that were like, right, we're just going to do that. So this table right over here. Carmen, your table was apparently the fastest, so I will be giving you guys each a kit. So see me before you leave on that, all right? Good job. Hey, good job. I think we only got to about 90 seconds in that video, in that song, so awesome. So you've got it down for drop cover. If we have to do our evacuation drill, which we're probably going to do in June of this year, then please use that same safe movement to get out of the buildings quickly. Our children's center, they can evacuate 175 kids, including babies, and all their staff in 7 minutes. So I think we can evacuate this whole campus out to the zones in 15. That's, I think, is reasonable. Okay. Okay, so our final topic is how can you help by volunteering? Building marshals. Do I have any building marshals in the house right now? Oh, stand up because I love you. Stand up, stand up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so here's what building marshals do. They don't do search and rescue. They don't yell at people who are not evacuating. They don't push people and drag people out to evacuate. Okay, they're not firefighters, they're not police officers. What they do is facilitate evacuation. So they will encourage you to evacuate, whether it's a drill, and we don't necessarily have fire alarms when we evacuate. I'm not gonna pull fire alarms for an earthquake, because that's all we need. Fire's like, what? So no, there may be times when we're just gonna evacuate when there's not a fire alarm, okay? So don't depend on that. So building marshals facilitate, they encourage people to move out. They know where fire poles are, they know where fire extinguishers are. They're gonna have that flag that says, follow me to the evacuation zone. They're gonna have a nice high-vis vest, right? And when they get there, if someone reports to them that there's somebody that could not move, somebody's injured, somebody doesn't have access to an immediate exit, they have a red flag they can put up so law enforcement, fire department, whoever's there as a first responder can get to them quickly, all right? And you can check in with them and let them know that you're there and safe, and they can forward that to us so we can track down people, right? Make sure we know who's where, okay? So that's one thing you can do. We do training a couple times a year, and I'm trying to get more CPR and first aid training for that group because you deserve it. And I will always, always feed you. So Leon, I'm totally with you on that. I will go to any meeting possible if there's food. So that's my gift to you. I can't pay you extra. I can't do that, but I can feed you. On that vein, however, just so you know, as a state employee, you are a disaster worker. That's in the state law. So I'm not saying I will ever recruit you or voluntold you, but when you signed up to be a state employee, you signed up to be a mandated disaster worker. Just, you know, something to have in the back of your mind. Okay, the other place that you can volunteer is the Emergency Operations Center. Remember I said we support, we provide resources. So we have people that coordinate the resources for the people in the field. We have people that do planning and intelligence. What is the situation? What can, you know, what's going on? What do we need to tell the VPs and the president about what's going on? And then how do we translate what they want to do down to the ops? We have logistics. These are the people that work together to get those resources here. Okay? And we have finance that makes sure that when we go to FEMA, we can actually, you know, get reimbursed for everything too, right? So there's lots of different positions. We're sort of reorganizing right now and getting our 3 to 5 year training plan going. So if you're at all interested, talk to your manager, talk to me. I will find you a spot, okay? If you have teeny tiny small children, you don't need to volunteer for that. You take care of your small children, okay? That's a little more priority. But if you at all think maybe, you don't have to be an expert, we'll get you up to speed. Okay. So any questions about the volunteers? You just Teams me, email me, whatever. Okay. So there's the kitty cat who's, you know, doing his traffic cover. So thank you for your time. And then one other thing I would like to note is that we did have a promotion in our UPD subdivision, and that is that Chief Flores is also AVP of Public Safety. So congratulations, Chief.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Let's give Jennifer another round of applause. Okay, up next we have Tazos Lazarides. He's going to do a demonstration of Copilot for Microsoft 365. Oh, sorry, that looks like a typo. I've looked at this 100 times, but now I see it. Okay.
To everyone watching online. I don't know if this is going to be as interesting as what you just watched. So for those who were here the last FAS meeting, we talked about the Copilot that comes in your browser. And just as a reminder for everyone who hasn't played around with generative AI, this is the tool that allows you to create things. You can create text, you can analyze text and read text. And just out of curiosity, how many of you have used ChatGPT or Copilot or anything like that at least once? Thank you, that is helpful. So just as a reminder, what we showed the last time is you can go to any browser, log into with your CSUSM credentials and get a generative AI tool, and you might be able to see that there. Maybe I shouldn't bang on this. And we also showed that on the sidebar, you have technically the same thing. And as a reminder, the way this works, and you'll see what different things we're going to be talking about today. If it's not big enough, I will zoom in a bit more. Let me know if that's better. So as you can see here, I just came to Copilot and said, create a proposal for a Gen AI lab on campus. And I'll just do this. And this is what, again, we showed last time. This Copilot doesn't know my data, doesn't know who I am technically. It just knows that I signed in and I asked it to create a proposal. And for those who haven't seen this in action, this by itself is pretty fancy and fun. Also makes me wonder what we're going to be doing. There's a whole other conversation that we're not going to cover today. And let me know if you can hear me, because I tend to move back and forth. So again, this is what we showed last time. It's a Copilot GPT. For those who know the technology, it doesn't know who I am, doesn't have any access to my data. It's kind of external from my work. If I needed it to look at a screen and tell me what something is, I would have to click on this sidebar here, ask it questions. Well, what we're going to be showing today is instead the new generation of the same kind of tool that is called Microsoft 365 Copilot. There's about, I think, 32 Copilots, and I'm not exaggerating. But this is called Microsoft 365 Copilot because what they did is they took the Copilot tools that I showed you and put them in the tools that we use every day. In Word, in PowerPoint, and you'll see it all. It works within my data. It has access to my data, helps me create things that matter for my work. I will say this, and I keep seeing it to this flash. I don't know if it's me or not. And we're back. I will say this again and again. It only has access to the data that I have access. It does not discover data that's not mine, files not written by me, meetings I wasn't in. So anything you see here, I have to have access to it. It's technically, I could go and search for this information and find it because I have access to it. It just puts it together in a very interesting way. So I'm in Word for web like you all have. I just click here where it says draft with Copilot, and I get this. And I can just copy paste what I had in the other one, create a proposal, and do the same thing. And this time around, it will generate it in my Word document directly. I don't have to generate something else, copy, bring it over in Word, I'll give it a second. You'll see it takes a few seconds because it looks through a lot of things. And now it's starting to do it in my Word document itself. That's it. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. I could make it shorter, but I think it's kind of interesting to see how it does all of these in about 3 seconds. For those who write proposals, for those who write documents, you can come straight into Word, have it do all of this. Longer than usual. It's very verbose today. It's the coffee. And I don't want to stop it on purpose. And then it gives me the opportunity to change anything. Let's say, if you notice, because it's still generic, it didn't say CSUSM or anything, I could say add CSUSM, and it will replace any campus name with CSUSM. I won't do it just because it's going to take a lot more time. But if I like it, I'll just say keep it, and then all of a sudden I have a 3-page proposal in my Word that just did all that. If I wanted to have it reference a specific file, if you see here where it says reference your content, I can click here, find a specific document that I work on and say, create a thing based on this document that I have that someone shared with me. And there's a lot more on what kind of data it can use. It can also, let me delete that 1 second. It can inspire me, and it's going to start just creating, I have no idea what. I'll just give it a second to see. Now it's going off on its own and creating more information about that. And I'm going to stop it. I'm just going to leave it here. I'm going to say keep it. Other things you can do here is, you see the benefits. Maybe these 3 here, I wanted to have them as a table. Can just do this. Click here, and either rewrite or visualize as a table. And it's going to visualize as a table. And while it's doing that, I'm going to open this thing. Here's a table. And if I like it, I'll keep it. In other words, as these tools get better and better, you won't have to know which button does what button. You'll be able to say, turn this into a table and switch this over into a bullet point or summarize it, and you won't have to know every single button of the 10,000 buttons in all the Office tools. The other thing, as a reminder, last time for those who were here, we showed how you can go to this sidebar and ask questions about anything on your screen, summarize a document. Because now these tools are internal, I can open the Copilot in Word. Let's say this was not my document, someone shared this document with me. I can just say summarize this document, and it will summarize any document that you have there. Doesn't matter, I would say it doesn't matter how long, probably over 20, 30 pages, it might start losing a bit. But it will summarize, answer questions, propose ideas. So if someone is giving you a document and you have to give feedback or something, you can use Copilot. As you see here, it summarized. One of the things that I like about all of these tools, it shows me the moments, and it might be too small, but it shows me the moments that is summarizing. So it's not just saying, here's a summary, hopefully it's correct, because as you might know, if you use generative AI, it sometimes hallucinates, which is a nice way of saying it's wrong. But the benefit here is it will show you the exact moment where it found those specific things that it summarized. I can also have it expand more points, create another point for another argument, and it will again just do the same. And it's talking to that specific document. It's not looking at anything else. It's just looking at what I have here. Interesting so far? Because this is the very, 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 very beginning. I'll leave this continue to its thing, but we're going to go to PowerPoint because this is a bit more fun. So the thing that it can do with PowerPoint is, once it loads, I'm going to refresh my window. It's been open for a bit because I was waiting for the presentation. Internet is slow. Let me reopen this. My internet got very slow all of a second, so you have to give me a second. It's all trying to load. So while it's doing that, I'm going to go back to here and see that everything is breaking on my computer. There's nothing like live demos. I'll tell you that much. And while it's loading, so just to, again, kind of explain what you're seeing here, the Copilot we have now, it is an extra license. It's nothing fancy. It's an additional license. Fortunately, not a cheap license. If any of you had that license, you would be able to do exactly what I'm doing, have the same kind of tools. It's not like a weird, let me open my things again. Thank you, computer. That is my face too. Okay, let's see if we're back. Okay, now it's actually going to work. There we go. So excuse the Copilot cannot fix my computer, so that's part of the problem. So as you see here on PowerPoint, it allows me to create a presentation about anything or create a presentation from a file. And while I was just creating the generative AI proposal, the Word document, I can just say create a presentation from that file. And give it about 35 seconds, and it's going to create a full presentation with slides, images, and everything else. Also known as I never have to make another presentation ever again. It's going to give you an outline of what it's going to do, and then it's literally going to create around 30 slides in about 30 seconds. It's a bit slower than usual. I think it's, I don't know, wireless or something here. But it usually takes about 30 seconds, 35 seconds. So you see here it came up with outline for my presentation based on the Word document, and now it's going to actually create the presentation. Percentage just to build anticipation. And as you can see, this is not a different version of PowerPoint. This is my regular PowerPoint on web. You just have that little Copilot button all of a sudden appears when you get the license. And it also adds speaker notes to your slides, just in case you didn't want to do any work. And here's my presentation with images. I know it's kind of small. Let me turn this off so you can see it. And here's my presentation. It's 20 slides. I can also go here and interact with that presentation. I can say categorize. And it will break those slides into different categories. So this is, again, another example of how this kind of technology now can look into a Word document that I created and build a PowerPoint slideshow based on that Word document. And you see it create categories, broke them into specific categories, and sometimes you can even put them here. I can also, if I wanted, just in terms of what it can do, I can edit slides, add new images, change a slide, remove a slide, do whatever I want just by telling it what to do. Who doesn't want to create another presentation in their life? You don't have to. And this is the organized part. So I'll keep on going because this is pretty much in every single tool we use. So I'm going to go through the different tools and show you. It's not the same in every tool. As you saw, the PowerPoint is a bit more straightforward. Tell me what you want. I'll make a presentation. Word document is, I can create a document, I can summarize. As you see here, it actually created categories in my presentation and categorize them accordingly. Just like before, I can also ask it to highlight I can ask which is the best slide, the most important slide. So if someone else gave you a slideshow, you can also ask questions of it and learn about what it was about. So if you get a 50-page slideshow, you don't have to read 50 pages. See, it says the benefits on slide 5, the objectives are on slide 14, so it just helps you figure out what you should be looking at. If you wanted to do a bit more ideation, you know the whiteboard, for those who use it, I could put little post-its, or I could have it create post-its and say, create a proposal about a generative AI lab on campus. So this, I have it create post-its for us, but it could be a whiteboard. You and others work together and you put little post-its with different ideas, because it can do additional actions beyond just doing this, which creates the post-its. I can have it categorize the post-its. So if you had, let's say you did a group exercise, brainstorming with your team, it will categorize all the post-its that people put on the whiteboard. And it can also summarize anything that was on the whiteboard in any of the post-its. So I'll give it a second. And I'm conscious of time, so I'm kind of running through some of these. Definitely slower than usual. But while it's doing that, as you saw, it created its own post-its, created categories for them, and then summarized them. And again, these tools, this is pretty much version 1 of these tools. They're going to be changing a lot and getting a lot better. But you know, as part of IITS and FAS, we want to make sure that you know what's the latest and greatest in these technologies, so you know what's the trajectory and where are we going. And in this case, one of the main things that you'll see in a lot of other tools is the tools that you use to play around, your ChatGPTs and all that, are becoming part of the tools you use versus it being an external thing you use. So this is the whiteboard. Who likes to take minutes in meetings? And I hope no one raises their hand. If you do meetings on Teams, and emphasis on you have to either record them or transcribe them. If you don't, none of these exist. So just make sure that you don't think that now we can see everything that's said in a meeting. But what happens is if a meeting is recorded, it takes the transcript and analyzes with that some of the same things that I showed you before. This was a meeting I recorded. I'm going to zoom in a bit. What it does is it automatically pulled meeting notes from the transcript. I know, I'm going to wait. You can trust me, show something really good that I'll move the moment it comes back. I'll give it a second. It might be me shaking the podium. It might be Copilot being shy. I will wait. Yes? What you see here is live meetings that we have. Well, not here, but here. Extremely. It doesn't know sarcasm. So if you're like, oh my God, this job is killing me, it might actually put it. Yes, the question was if we have used this in our meetings to see it in actual practice and see how it works. And the answer is I use it in every meeting that I record for the last few weeks. Of course, it will say you're being recorded and all that. It's like every other. And again, I will emphasize again and again because I know it should freak people out if you think that it will pull that from any meeting. It has to be recorded and it's only accessible for those who were in the meeting, not by anyone else, just like a file you shared in a meeting. That's not as interesting as what I'm trying to show. And I'll start saying what it does, and then I'll show you. So it does meeting notes. It pretty much summarizes minutes. It does follow-up tasks and says, Tasso said he was going to do this, and John said he was going to do that. And then it also shows, it automatically puts chapters in your meeting and topics in your meeting. So if you have a meeting that's an hour long, it will break it up in chapters automatically, break it up in topics, and then you can come here, as you saw, I was in Teams, and you can see all these notes, all these chapters. And because this is part of what we talked about, how it kind of looks at all of your data, I will show you when I can, how you can then say, create an email based on the meeting that I had that tells John about this to-do task. Or if I have 4 to-do tasks, I can say, create 4 emails for those specific to-do tasks. It already knows the tasks, it already knows the data, pulls that in, and can create the email. I think I might drink water. Let me know if we can fix it or not, otherwise I'll figure out how to do this as charades. Hmm? Yeah, I work in IT. I know how technology works. It often doesn't. Yeah. And that's the problem of doing demos. It's always tricky to put like the technology, make sure everything works. Oh, that was. Those tools, and then we figure out who would need this license, and then go from there.
Since we're waiting, so quick question for everybody. So we're talking about Copilot, but really we're talking about generative AI. So just since we're waiting, so really quick show of hands, anybody who's lost in this conversation, it's okay. It's not a simple thing to understand. Because when we're talking about Copilot, that's just Microsoft's tool, which is the tool that we're utilizing. But generative AI as a tool is widely available to everyone. If you haven't started dabbling in it, I think what we're trying to show is sparking your curiosity. If you're able to, the conversation about licensing, that's specifically for the tools within Microsoft 365. Generative AI tools, Copilot for Bing browsers. If you go to Microsoft's Bing, if you go to Google's AIs, all those tools are technically already available to everyone on a consumer basis, but those are more limited. What we're trying to show you is the commercial tools that's available to us that you're able to utilize to your day-to-day work. So what we're unable to get to right now, like Tasha was saying, it's incorporated into your entire Office, Microsoft Office suite. So you can go into Outlook, tell it to bring up the most relevant emails that you need to take a look at, or if there's some emails that you're not paying attention to, it can do all the work for you. I think where Microsoft is fortuitous in what they're doing is calling it Copilot, because it is an assistant. It's not meant to take over the things that you do. It is to supplement the work that you're doing. So think about having a virtual assistant. Now everybody has a virtual assistant. To be able to do so many different things that before you had to spend the time to do, so now you can then focus on the more important things. So that's what we're trying to be able to make available to you. There is a cost to it, and that's what we're trying to figure out. But the general tools for you to go and get inspirations, talk to AI, get some inspirational text being generated, that's commercially available if you go to the web. But the incorporation of what you're seeing, Tasha was showing you, that's where the licensing come in. Make sense? And I think what we're really encouraging everyone to do is to go online, go to your browser. If you're using a Bing browser, if you're not, I highly encourage you to do it, and use the sidebar. That's already available to everybody. And if you're able to utilize that, that get you kind of a taste and get your feet wet about how to utilize those tools, so that with these more sophisticated tools for you, is something that you can take more advantage of. There's so much more things to talk about too, but hopefully we can come back because I don't think we're going to have time.
No, I think yeah.
Is how you prompt AI is extremely important, because it's like building a relationship, as weird as it sounds. How you communicate to AI is extremely important. How you ask questions, how you talk to it, nicely or not, will get a very specific and different answers. But that's a skill that also needs to happen. But what we're noticing right now is, while this is nice for our day-to-day work, as a higher education institution, this is also very important for our students. So we're also working with our faculty partners to incorporate this into the classrooms, because at the end of the day, this not only helps with the classrooms, but this is a skill that is very much in demand in the industry. So to help prepare our students to be able to be valuable and be noticed in the field, having this skill is very, very important. So there's a whole array of a lot of different conversation that needs to happen, and we're hoping to come back and have more of those conversations with you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tazos and Tony. Sorry about the technology.
Oh,
Story of my life.
We know.
Okay. Well, we are going to transition over to our awards today. We have 3 types of awards. So I'm going to hand it back over to Leon, and we're going to get started.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. I have the privilege of basically presenting some awards to our staff members who have basically exceeded expectations. And the very first one that I want to talk about was during commencement last year. But it's my pleasure to inform you that 2 members of our CSUSM Police Department have been selected as recipients of the California State University 2024 Police Commendation Award. You know, the Chancellor's Office hosts this annual award program that recognizes UPD officers and civilians who have bravely and heroically gone above and beyond their regular duties in serving the public, bringing honor to themselves, their university, and the CSU. So I'm going to hand it over to our AVP of Campus Safety and Chief of Police, Jesse Flores, to give us some background into what led to these noble awards. Chief?
Good morning, everyone. Y'all hear me? Yeah. All right. Thanks. As VP Whiten mentioned, we have 2 recipients from our police department who are receiving a life-saving award. So for those of you who were present last summer at the safety fair that we had in June, I presented them a commendation from our police department. The 2 recipients are Jennifer Ralph and Officer David Masson. If I could have them both please come up to the stage. So I'll give a brief summary of the incidents. So last May, May 19, 2023, in the evening hours after the last commencement, there was a female who was suffering from a medical emergency and needed medical assistance. During that time, Jennifer Ralph, who's also our instructor for CPR, was present, as well as Officer David Masson. They noticed the person was in distress and subsequently started performing CPR. They actually saved this woman's life, and had it not been for their efforts, she would not have survived. And this was brought to us after the fact from the fire department that mentioned your police officer and your emergency manager, them stepping in actually saved her life. So we had a graduate who was here celebrating a great moment, but had a tragic event that actually ended up well because the person survived. So please join me in congratulating them for this life-saving award. So as mentioned, I submitted these nominations up to the Chancellor's Office. It's reviewed at the Chancellor's Office level. So all 23 police departments across the CSU system submit their nominations. They review those commendations that the police department submits, make the review, and make the selection. So we have 2 honorees and 2 recipients.
So the first life-saving medal, which goes to David Masson. This award is conferred on an officer who's responsible for saving a person's life. No, Dave, please come up, accept your award.
And we have his father, who is a retired police officer, and the mother here. If we'd like to invite them up to present him with the award.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Please come up.
Don't stab him, though.
Congratulations, Officer Masson. Oh, you want to take a photograph?
Yeah.
second award is the Community Hero Award, which goes to Jennifer Ralph. This award is conferred on a civilian who assists an officer in saving a person's life. Jen, come up and accept your award. Chief, you want other side? Right there? Thank you, Chief. That's it.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Congratulations to Officer Masan and Jennifer Rao. Now for our Manager to Staff Award. This award provides FAS managers the opportunity to publicly recognize staff members for an outstanding performance. Nominations are based on contributions towards achieving goals and outstanding quality of work and attitudes. This year, we have a three-way tie. Our first awardee is Edith Nuno. I'm going to read come on up, Edith. I'm going to read a short excerpt from her nomination. It says, Edith played a pivotal role in leading the inaugural Administrative Policy Equity Review Committee, APERC, at CSUSM. Through 2 years of dedicated planning, implementation, she ensured the committee's success in reviewing all of our administrative policies with an equity lens, setting a precedent within the CSU system. It's never been done before. So Edith has set a precedent and has really lifted the bar for the CSU entirely. So congratulations, Edith. Please accept your award. Come on over. You are so welcome. Let's see, our second award is for Alan Lanise from the ITS Help Desk. Alan, can you come up? While Alan's walking up, I'm going to read a short excerpt from his nomination. It says, Alan always provides a friendly voice for the campus community and brings positive attitude to the team. He's a true selfless individual who doesn't rest until he has helped address any issue that comes his way. He is the ultimate team player. Congratulations, Alan. Congratulations. Our third awardee is Jill Heath from the Business and Financial Services. Hey, Jill. I'll read a short excerpt from her nomination. Jill's dedication and service to BFS and our campus community is truly outstanding. The quality of Jill's work is relentlessly superb, and we often wonder if she is clairvoyant as she anticipates our needs before we are even aware of what we need. She is the cornerstone of our subdivision and a valued asset to BFS, FAS, and the university. Congrats, Jill. Jill is virtual today, so we will get her award to her later. Congratulations again, Jill. And lastly, I'm pleased to announce the Vice President's Award. This year, the award goes to the Sustainability Team, Juliana Goodlaw Morris and Marissa Acosta. Where's Marissa? Come on up, come on up. The Sustainability Program, with the collaboration of many assistants and campus stakeholders such as FDM, the Office of Inclusive Excellence, has reached a pinnacle. Sustainability program has grown very much over the past decade, where the focus was once primarily on recycling, energy, and water conservation, to now where the focus is more holistic, including resource conservation, and adds social justice, equity, academics, education, student engagement, and the campus community outreach. A few examples of accomplishments are the following. Within the past couple of years, the CSUSM Sustainability Program has grown immensely with the addition of new programs, initiatives, and engagement practices. Their new sustainability newsletter has almost 300 subscribers. Over 130 classes are identified as sustainability-related courses, and all of our colleges offer at least one sustainability-related course. Sustainability is now an integrated component of the new campus strategic plan, and the signing of the President's Climate Leadership Commitment in August of 2023 also elevated CSUSM's efforts related to the climate change and justice. So congratulations, and I will now, oops, yeah, we got to take a picture. So congratulations to the sustainability area. I think you guys have done a great job, and you've also won gold for the STARS Award this year, which we will be celebrating coming up real soon, right? April 29th, we will celebrate the STARS Gold Award, and I know you're already working on the next level of that. So congratulations to sustainability. Congratulations. Now for the important part of the celebration here, I will now turn it over to Shannon and May, who are going to be picking out our door prizes as we part today. So Shannon, May.
All right. Okay, do we have all the tickets? Audrey, do you have any tickets left? Okay, all right, they're all in here. Okay, do a little mix up. Wow, look at May. She did this on purpose. She matched the tickets. Okay. Okay, no, I'm going to hold it and you're going to pick. I'm not going to be responsible for this. Okay. Okay, we have 5 winners today. And before I start naming people, we have the prizes over here on this table. There are 2 little components of each gift included in a little bag. If what you pick doesn't fit you, let me know and we can just go exchange it for a different size. So don't worry about the sizes on there, okay? Okay, our first winner is 615164. Victor? Woohoo! Okay, come right over here. Maybe we should stand over here. Okay. Yeah, come on over here, and you'll see there's like 5 little bundles. Yep. Okay. Okay, next one. 615095. Oh, is it Julie? Oh my gosh. Woohoo! Today is your day. Come on over here. You can go around the back. Okay. Here we go. Next one. She was handing out the tickets. So, is there a conspiracy here? Okay, 614971. Yay! Nazreen! Come on up. All right, 2 more. 615064. Really? Oh, was it me? I'm just kidding. Okay. Want me to say it again? Say it again. 615064. You don't have it, do you? It's the same ticket as the one I already called? Oh no. I knew everything would fall apart once I got up here. Okay. Okay. All right, we'll do another one. Is it Alan? What? Okay. It's your lucky day as well. Okay, this is my last one. Okay. Last one. 615152. Yay! Karina. Megan is accepting on behalf of Karina. So here are the two things left. Alan can go first. So, okay, and there's a shirt in here, just so you know, there's a shirt, okay? So, okay, bag up front. This one? Okay, we'll pick one more for this bag. Okay. Okay, oh, sorry, I can't let go. 614978. Yay! Angela! Here, I guess. You lucky duck. Here you go. Okay, that's all we have for today, so thank you for being here. If you want any extra food for you or anyone that's left over in your department, your student assistants, anyone else, please take it. Otherwise, it's going to go to random students on campus, which is good too. So have a great day.